this is a response to the YouTube clip on sleep and autism. I have autism myself, and personally from my own experiences, yes, I have great difficulty with sleeping. Right from when I was a kid, I had sleep problems, although nobody really noticed it apart from myself. When I was a kid, I learnt to play in the dark after my mum had found me when I was maybe about 5 or 6, and I was up in my room and playing all my toys and stuff like that. Mum told me off, and so turned the light off and I had to go to bed. So from then on, I've just played in my bedroom with the lights off, which was actually really nice, with no disturbances from other people. The only problem when my sleep came really affected was I had to share a room with my older sister when I was younger. This was during primary school years, and my sister's 6 years older than me. And I experienced quite a lot of nightmares and night terrors throughout my childhood. I didn't actually have the words to tell anyone about them, but they were definitely there, and that's what prevented me during primary school from getting to sleep. Yeah, so a lot of the times I couldn't get to sleep at all. I would wake up really early in the morning and still be all over the place and bright and bubbly as anything. Although sometimes during primary school, sleep did affect me, particularly in the afternoon, but I put that down to sensory overloads from during the day rather than sleep deprivation. During high school, I didn't really sleep much either. My mum used to snap me playing PlayStation at 11 o'clock at night when I was supposed to be in bed when I was about 14 or so. I've never done that again, but yeah, so right through high school, lights were off, just mainly just staying in bed even though I was wide awake, and just shut my eyes pretending to be asleep even though I wasn't actually really asleep. I actually do need my sleep though. When I started going to university, when I moved away to Auckland in 2008, my anxiety went skyrocketing up high, which affected my sleep even more so. So the doctor put me on doxycycline for sleeping, but really that didn't work for me. Well, it worked at first, but then just made everything more worse, and I still couldn't sleep, still having problems and all that. And so went back to the doctor and talked about it, I guess, and he put me on the clitorapam for during the day but still kept me on doxycycline. It's really weird to me, but you might be thinking, why take medicine when it's not really working? Well, the fact is I'm a quite literal person, and so I'll do what doctors tell me to do, even if they might not actually be working for me. So yeah, that didn't really work for me. So currently, I had to go through quite a number of different medications before I got to the right sort of medications. But for me, the type of stuff that influenced my sleeping patterns is lack of melatonin in my brain. So I take about 1 milligram of melatonin a night, which usually helps me to get to sleep. If I take any more than 3 milligrams of melatonin a night, it actually has the opposite effect, and I'm wide awake all night. So 2 milligrams is the highest dosage I can have of melatonin in order to get to sleep. Also, I try different other stuff like lavender oil that really helps to calm the body down and get you to sleep. On magnesium each night as well, that helps with sleep as well, and if I don't have that, wide awake and real all over the place. I'm on one type of medication for sleeping, which is quetiapine, but mainly it's a mood stabilizer, and it knocks me out so I can actually get to sleep rather than waking up 4 to 6 times a night with the nightmares or night terrors and flashbacks and all that sort of stuff like that. Not pleasant. What else? Yeah. Usually these days, if I can't get to sleep, I just watch a video or read a book until I fall asleep, until I get tired, basically. Right now it's about 12:17 a.m. at night time, and I'm still wide awake, and I don't feel tired one single bit. But that's mainly because I haven't had my supplements or medication tonight, which I should be having soon, but got carried away doing other stuff and got lost track of the time, which usually happens in people with autism. We lose track of time all the time, especially when we're researching on the internet into a specialist topic, which mine is autism. So really you get sidetracked quite a lot. I really should be implementing a timer so it goes off for when I do medication and get to sleep, etc. But sometimes implementing that may seem like kind of I don't know how to explain it, but it makes you more noticeable, especially with the people you're living with, and if you're in a flatting situation, they wonder why you have to implement these sorts of things, and there are so many trillion questions. At other times when I've stayed at my cousin's place, I used to live with my cousin, and when I was in Auckland, and there was one time where I couldn't sleep at all. This was right after kind of, I guess, a rough, it was like a breakup from a rough boyfriend, basically, that didn't treat me well. I was up all night, and in the morning, told my cousin, I was just like, why didn't you come tell me last night? I heard you all up all night last night and all that. And I was like, well, I didn't know I could go tell you. It's not like I've read your mind. And stuff like that. So, yeah. But it's getting better. Usually what helps me as well, I'm a Christian, and so usually before I go to bed, I read the part in the Bible about putting on God's armour, and it protects us from war. It can protect you from nightmares and flashbacks and all that, and I do notice when I don't read that part outside, if I don't read that out loud, well then I'm not going to get to sleep, I'm going to get nightmares and flashbacks and all that. It also affects my sleeping, as if I've had juice during the day or Coke or something like that. Yeah, any sort of fizzy basically, or caffeine, chocolate, that will make me stay up all night long. So I try to avoid all those things. Well, I do actually, except for special occasions where I might have a little bit of fizzy or juice, but it's on rare occasions now because I just know how badly it affects my sleeping and my mood the next day. So if you're a parent out there and you're considering ways to help your child or teenager with autism or ADHD to get to sleep, I suggest really to look at the food first of all, and especially look into melatonin and magnesium and lavender oil, and try some of the natural stuff first before you try medication. My model is that you use medication as a last resort when none of the other things work. Hope because a lot of the times medication, the bad side effects from it outweighs all the good stuff. So yeah, like some of the medication I've been on for sleeping made things triply worse. I guess in some ways it made my anxiety so bad than what it actually really was. So in some ways for me, medication triggered my anxiety off really badly, whereas before that it was kind of mild to moderate rather than being severe. But who knows, I really cannot tell you if it was a medication or a multiple of different things that were affecting my anxiety. But yeah, a lot of things that do affect sleep is food, lack of melatonin, medication that you're on, drinks that you drink during the day, sugar, chocolate, anxiety, depression. It could be any number of those things or a multiple number of those things. It's just a matter of trial and error to work out what you may be reacting to or what you may need to do. Like you may need to put some routines in day and implement some timers so you regulate how long you do something, so you remind yourself to go to sleep and take your medication and all that. Hopefully this has given a better explanation on how sleep routines affect people with autism, and that it's not necessarily just autism. There could be a number of different things that are affecting your sleep. Like a lot of people just look at autism rather than looking outside the box and looking for alternative theories for why they may not be sleeping or why their child or teenager with ADHD may not be sleeping. Usually, yeah, in New Zealand, I guess my mates with ASD, they see me as a dietary expert, but really truly a lot of the stuff I know is because I've read quite a lot about it, and a lot of the stuff is basic stuff. Of course fizzy drinks are going to affect children or adults. Of course juice is going to affect them as well. Just a lot of people these days, they just don't know how to look for the signs that